righty. Let's go ahead and begin. So before we start, I want everybody on the same page here of what we're going to be exploring this month, the month of October in the Spokane Sangha. We're going to be focusing on grief and death, which is kind of a heavy, potentially a heavy topic. Poor Vicky's already shaking her head like, no way. And so what we're going to do, however, is like we've been doing for the past several months, I take this very big topic, sometimes they're pretty complex, and I break them down into smaller parts. This one the idea of grief and death is something that we can apply not only to a loved one, a person, or a pet, but also to a story, an expectation, a dream, a situation, because we know from our Buddhist practice that one of the four noble reminders is that the nature of reality is impermanent. Everything is subject to change. And sometimes that change can feel like a death, a loss, and we grieve that. And so that's really the heart of what we're going to be exploring together for the month. And what I'd like to do is this week we're going to be looking at cultivating presence. In week 2, we're going to be cultivating stillness. In week 3, we're going to be cultivating something I call the Trinity of letting go. And the Trinity of letting go is the cultivation of surrender, acceptance, and trust. And then the final week, we're going to cultivate a posture of being settled and relaxed. So that's our month together. And we'll take it nice and slow, nice and gentle. And we'll begin with a sentiment of metta, loving kindness. And I'll invite the chime to sing. And that is your invitation to arrive fully to this practice, to lie down if your body feels so inclined to do that, to just allow yourself to be present to the best, with the most capacity that you have. Welcome, everyone. This is Recovery Dharma. My name is Julia. I'm one of the facilitators in the Spokane Sangha. And I'm really happy to be here and talk with you about this wonderful topic, difficult topic in the month of October. In the Western Hemisphere, the month of October, symbolically in many traditions, is the time to contemplate death. And it's because nature is reminding us of life and death. This particular sentiment of metta reads, "May you pause and smile at least 3 times every day." May you pause and smile at least 3 times every day. And maybe you hear that and like your inner adolescent is harumphing, like, I don't want to smile. And you're all rebellious. You can smile at that. You can smile, smirk, if that feels true to you. The invitation is to simply be aware of how your body, emotion, mind can relax enough at the level of the face to smile just a little. Turn your gaze inward and take some deep breaths. Friends, in my studies of world religions and Buddhist principles, one often comes across a sentiment that suggests there is no death. And nature hints at that, where the leaves on the trees change color in the waning daylight. Eventually, the stems of the leaves know when to let go of the branch. They fall whimsically to the ground, sort of carpeting and blanketing around the tree. As they die and decompose, they feed the tree. The tree in wintertime looks barren and dead, and yet in the heart of the tree is this miracle of life happening unseen. What was alive and colorful in those leaves is now a skeleton, and the matter of the leaves, the skin, the brown makeup is into the soil, nurturing that tree and its life. And comes springtime, it returns in its full glory. And so the sages have known that there's this seamlessness of life into death, into life, into death. I have encountered that sentiment, there is no death, countless times, and not once has it ever resonated with me. It's always landed as disingenuous and insincere. I invite you, with your wisdom and your presence, to contemplate it for yourself. While I understand the seamless cycle, there is death. There is loss. Something was there that is no longer there. And I miss it. And I long for it sometimes. And that missing and longing is the emotional experience of grief. And it is real. So it seems to me that there is no death is true and not the whole truth. For our practice of presence today, I'd like to bring that idea, no death, bring the notion of grief into your consciousness, and I simply invite you to explore what are your beliefs, what are your stories, what are your thoughts about death, what have you been told and taught? And is there an inkling of curiosity that's can encourage your mind to wonder, hey, do I still believe that? Would you look at that? I wonder if that's still true for me. And create a little space, a little possibility for something else to emerge. Be really gentle here. Throughout this month, if you encounter a suggestion for practice that stirs feelings of resistance. I don't want to do this. I don't want to think about this. I highly encourage you to applaud your awareness and do not engage the practice. If you're meeting resistance, if your wisdom is telling you, I don't want to go here, then please don't. Give yourself the freedom to do something else in your mind. Maybe just breathe. Maybe scan the body and relax. You can trust your knowing and your wisdom. Please do. Friends, in the tradition of the ancient Celts, death lent itself into the unseen world, and the unseen world was a place of freedom and mischief. For the Celts, this was the fairy realm, and it was a place that supported the unseen, was able to support life that we could see. So in the Celtic mind and in the Celtic spirituality, those who have died and those we grieve are tending to us, watching over us, sometimes tripping us up. And so the landscape of the unseen realm became a place highly revered. There are monuments all over Ireland, for example, to the fairies, to death, to this unseen place. And it is said that places of death, cemeteries, mountains, hillsides, are places to be visited and delighted in, because those places that we long for someone long for us too. And so it is a mutual kind of thing to visit these natural places and connect with them. I find that really comforting for my mind, especially as I've been contemplating a couple of Sangha members who have passed away this year. And it brings me comfort to think of them looking out for us, participating in Sangha in an unseen way, being encouraging, being free. And it motivates me to turn toward the living and love with more presence, more clarity, more depth. And that includes me. So in your practice of presence this evening, may all that inhibits you from loving yourself deeply, reverently, clearly, slip away as easily as an autumn leaf knowing to separate from its branch. May it fall to the ground and nurture you and the way you love. Alrighty, let's go ahead and end our practice with a dedication of merit. Oh, tomorrow night, local people, the nuns from Sravasti Abbey will be here talking about beginning Buddhism from 6 to 7:30. You're all welcome to attend. Alrighty, dedication of merit. Let's come back to a noble posture and let's kind of settle into the body, this living, breathing, earthen clay vessel. And one of the things that's so typical about the human experience and common is you live long enough and you have these periods of profound meaning and purpose, and you also have profound experiences where it all seems rather pointless, and somewhere in between lies the truth of one's life. And sometimes it is being in the presence of others to remind us of our meaning. It could be the way we smile at someone that has just made their day. It could be a story that we share that reminds people they're not alone. And recovery, and certainly substance misuse, addiction in general, is a journey, is an experience of isolationism. So to encounter somebody where you're reminded you're not alone is a profound experience. As you go into this evening, reflecting on a death or a loss, and in the company and softness of your sorrow and anger and longing, may you return to this miraculous living body, and may there be a gentle reminder to live for those whose lives are ahead of us. We honor them by living fully and living true. Thank you so much for bringing the realness of your lives here and leaving such a beautiful impression in this space. We'll see you next time. Namaste.